What's up, YouTube? Psycho82 here, coming at you with my locals report and deck profile from yesterday. I did not actually publish a video yesterday because I was live streaming, so giving you the deck profile now. So this deck came in first place at locals. Again, it's local, so it's not difficult to win, but it's always fun, and it's always great when you profit off the packs you win. So, yeah, here's the deck. This is also a very similar build to what I was using in the speed duels. It might be identical, I'm not certain. So we have the 3 Aratama. This guy's really good. Like, you summon him, you add a spirit, you set him, flip him next turn, get a spirit. When you set a card in this deck, your opponent never knows what it is. It could be this guy, it could be a different spirit, it could be Jiangshi, it could be a bluff. Like, they really never know. So, this guy is a really solid card. He's just like a +1 every turn. He can actually be multiple +1s a turn. Like, if you set one, next turn, summon another, add a spirit, flip, add another spirit. So, you can just get, like, tons of pluses off this guy. For the next 3 spirits, we have 3 Nikitama. This guy's like your main Xyz maker. You just summon him, summon Aratama, summon a different spirit, doesn't really matter. Go into a rank 4 Xyz. These guys are basically your spirit engine. They are what generates advantage and Xyz monsters. Nikki also gives you draws when he's sent to the graveyard while you control a spirit, which can result in some pretty cool combos. You can also, like, set him. I'm not sure, does it say you can only... yeah, you can only gain his normal summon once per turn. But, like, you can set him, and next turn just, like, flip him up and get a bunch of normal summons. Like, you'll get your regular normal summon, you'll get his normal summon, and, like, you'll probably have a Kage Tokage to get a 3rd monster out, and you get 2 Xyz monsters. So, yeah, these guys are really solid. 2 Izanami, I'm a Nazi, I don't know. Look up the name, read it backwards, it's bizarre, but, this is a pretty good card. She just, like, recycles your Nikitamas and Aratamas to make more plays. There's a really cool play where if you have, like, a Nikitama in hand and a Nikitama in graveyard, you can summon her, discard the Nikki, add the other Nikki back. You don't lose anything, but the Nikitama you just discard will give you a draw because it was sent to the grave while you control spirit. So she's usually really good. She's probably the best, like, standalone spirit other than maybe Aratama. And then a random little tech of mine, Feng Huang. This guy's funny. He's just like, oh, back row. Nope. He just nukes all the back row. Like, you can go Nikitama, tribute Nikitama, summon him, nuke all the back row, get a draw. So that's really cool. This guy wins games. All of these guys are searchable by Aratama too, which is pretty cool. So that's a spirit engine. There's 9 cards. These guys are like how you're gonna make your power plays. Then we have the Ghostrick engine, which is a 3 Jiangshi. This guy's a plus or a 1-for-1 every turn. Like, you'll either flip him up, get your search, or, like, he'll be, like, destroyed, and you won't get a search, I don't know. If your opponent attacks over a set Jiangshi, that's actually a +1 for you, because Jiangshi's gonna flip, add a Ghostrick Spectre to your hand, +1. Jiangshi is destroyed, -1. Then you're even. Spectre is summoned, and you draw a card, +1. And you end +1 with that play. So, Jiangshi's actually really cool. Then we have your 3 Spectre. Spectre just kind of gives you, like, draw power and protection. It's really kind of difficult to OTK versus this deck, just because you have so much stops to everything. Spectre special summons itself when Ghostrick is destroyed, if you didn't know that. We have 2 Marys. I found 3 to be overkill, because really the only card you want to set with her is Jiangshi. So I found 2 to be the best number. Take damage, summon Jiangshi, and you can basically stop like a ton of attacks. Like, if you just have a single Mary and your opponent puts out 4 monsters to OTK you, you take the first attack, you can drop the Mary, summon the Jiangshi. Jiangshi's gonna take the second attack, add a Spectre. Spectre's gonna summon itself and take the third attack, and you'll basically be taking like 2 hits max. So it makes this deck really difficult to OTK against. And then 2 more tech cards, Ghostrick, Jack Frost. My locals has a lot of Bujin and Noble Knight players, so this card's good because he doesn't target, and he just makes killing their stuff really easy. Like, attack with Yamato, that's nice. Drop him, set Yamato, next turn, flip him up, run over Yamato, set him again. So that's just really solid. He's a fun little tech. I'd probably side him in most cases, but due to my locals having that, I decided he was good in the main deck. So that's the Ghostrick engine. That's 10 cards. I think it works pretty well. Like, you basically use it to stall and generate advantage. Occasionally go into like Dullahan or rank 3 play. Then my 3 final monster cards for this deck, Kage to Kage. This card puts in work. Like, just having this plus a spirit is like really dumb, because you can just do a lot of stupid plays with this. Like, the fact that like Nikki, if you have Nikki Tama, a spirit, and 2 of these guys, you can just go Nikki special, other spirit special, and that's 2 Xyz right there. This guy's also searchable, which just makes life really easy. You can get some really dumb plays off where, like, if you open Nikki, Aura, and this guy, you'll go Nikki, Aura, special, search another Nikki, overlay this and the Nikki into King of the Verlimps. King of the Verlimps, detach Nikki, add another one, and then you have Nikki plus this guy, and you draw a card for Nikki, and Artama will come back, and you basically have the same setup for next turn, which is really solid. It's just like free advantages, free advantage, big floaters are good. So yeah, that's Kages. They do a lot for this deck. On to spells, I went with 1 Dichotomy, partially because I only have 1 Dichotomy, more because I found oftentimes, most of the monsters I play are fiends. So, like, it's sometimes kind of difficult to get this off, but when it does go off, it's good. So I decided on 1 was the good number for it. Other spells, 1 Creeping Darkness. This guy will, like, banish 2 Ghostricks, add an Aratama or Kage to Kage just to do more stuff. I found 1 was a good number, just because you didn't want to interfere with too much graveyard stuff, and it just helps. Like, the searching power is really good. And the last one I've spelled, Book of Moon. This card just does a lot. Like, it helps ensure some effects go off. It's really good with a lot of spirit monsters, because it allows you to, like, trigger their effects twice without using another normal summon. Like, also, if I want to make sure Feng Huang play goes off, and they, like, try to break through it, I can just be like, okay, Book of Moon, protect it from the breakthrough. Your back row will still all die, and whenever he gets flipped up, all your back row is going to die again. So this card is just really good in this deck. And the last 3 spells, MSTs, I don't know, I just feel like this is a really good card, this format. It just, like, helps get rid of back row, and does a lot of work to rid of continuous cards, and yeah. And that's the 6 card spells. I do feel like they do a lot. I know I'm saying that a lot, but this deck, I do really enjoy this deck. So for traps, we have the big 4. These guys all put in so much work. Like, Torrential's just like, no, your plays don't happen, period. Bottomless is, I think Bottomless is one of the best cards in the game. Compulse is like a very multi-purpose card. You can use it like Book of Moon to make sure your own plays go off. You can use it to get rid of their big stuff. You can just use it like as a last-ditch effort to protect yourself. And in Warning just stops everything. Like, you try to summon, no. I do find also all of these cards to just basically be like auto wins versus Madolches, because Madolches you just like, okay, stop their normal summon. If you don't have Palooza, you lose now. So I think these are like 4. They're limited. They're all limited, so you have to assume they're gonna be good. More traps. I play 2 Blackhorn. Blackhorn I definitely think is a staple this format if you have room for it, because it's just like Geargias are very popular, and stopping the Gearjig in X without giving them the level 3 monster from Grave is really solid. 2 Breakthroughs. Breakthroughs better than Fiendish this format just because you can like use it twice, stop an artifact. Fiendish, I also think, just doesn't resolve because of MSTs. A lot of people tell me, well, like, if they MST my Fiendish, that's fine, it's a 1-for-1. But if I really want to make sure they have an effect that doesn't go off, I want Breakthrough there, because that's gonna make sure the effect doesn't happen. Like, if my opponent Exitons me, and they have MST, I would much rather have Breakthrough than Fiendish down, because, yeah. 2D Prison. Mirror Force is bad this format because too many hands running around, too easy to play around. I am not a fan of D Prison that much, but I do find it helps just with add protection in this deck. Also, getting rid of hands is really good right now because everyone's using them. And the final 2 traps, 2 wiretaps. This is one of the best cards of this format. Gear, no. Sanctum, no. Anything really, no. The amount of times, I had faced a friend of mine who was playing Black Wings. Every time he tried to Icarus attack me, this guy was there to stop it. And that's just a +1 for me, because he loses the trap, I lose the wiretap, but he also tributed the monster for it. So this card just puts in a lot of work. And that's the main deck. It's 40 cards, 22 monsters, 6 spells, and 12 traps. Onto the extra deck, Exciton. This guy's really good. Like, if you can stop an OTK with your Ghostricks and just next turn pull out your spirits and Exciton them, they're gonna lose that game. 101, this guy puts in lots of work as well. Emerald, also lots of work, just recycle everything. Detaching Nikki with this is funny because it basically creates a pot of, what's the word, dichotomy effect, where you recycle 3 and draw 2. Karen Organ, I think this guy is going to shoot up in price at some point, because he is just so good. You want to MST, that's nice. MST your own stuff instead. Like, he just changes all the targets. King of the Feral Imps, search your Kages, go plus, and Black Ship of Corn. These are probably the 6 cards I made most today, like more than anything else. They put in lots of work. Other rank 4s, Diamond Direwolf, get rid of back row and occasionally like a problem monster. Maystroke, situational protection, he's solid. Cowboy, pew, game, like, he does suck. The best card ever, number 82. I love this card. Like, in case you haven't noticed, this is like my favorite card ever. It's just so good. Dweller's also amazing. 103 Ragna Zero wins in a lot of matchups. Number 80 Rhapsody and Berserk. This guy was supposed to be a Ghostrick Dullahan. I get to locals and I realize I don't actually have a Dullahan, and it's not worth it to me to trade for the Dullahan for the just one day when I have like 20 at home. So I just decided to throw this guy into my deck. I didn't summon him all day. There was a couple times where I wanted to make Dullahan, but oh well. Doesn't really matter. I still won. And that's it for rank 4s. I play 13 rank 4s. For rank 3s, Mech-Equipped Engineer, General Protection, and Alucard, get rid of back row. There's times where I'll just be like, okay, set Jiangshi, next turn, flip up Jiangshi, search like Mary, normal summon a second Jiangshi, make this guy, and just start working away at their back row, because I really do not like making plays into back row. So, that's the extra deck, 15 cards. If you're playing less than 15 cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!, you deserve to lose every game. Like, I'm sorry, but you do. Side deck. Maxis. A lot of decks special summon right now. Veilers. Negate effects. Important for going second. And one DD Crow. I tried main decking this a couple times. I don't know. I kind of want to main deck it, but it's not great in some matchups. Those are the 5 monsters. I don't like citing too many monsters. Spells, 2 Twister. I like Twister over Dust Tornado because Decree is a problem for this deck. Those are the only 2 spells I side. Traps, 2 Mind Crush. And decks that, search as 1-for-1s, this card's really good. If the deck searches as a +1, like, I'm just gonna use, like, Hunters, for example. No, that's a bad example. Let's say, like, search as a +1, like Blackwings. They search off Black Whirlwind, and you activate Mind Crush. That's not going to do much, because they just went +1, and you just simplified the game state for them, which is something you should always be trying to do if you have advantage, but when when you're behind an advantage, you don't want it simplified, you want to maximize how many cards you have to get advantage back. So Mind Crush is bad against decks that search for +1s, but if you search for like a 1-for-1, it's a much better card to play against. It's also good versus Mermails just to shut down their special summon from hand plays. So 2 Mind Crush, 2 Emptiness. This card's really good. Like, I want to main deck it, not so much room, and it just shuts down the entire Ghostrick engine, so I don't know. It's a really good card though. 2 Light Imprisoning, Light Sworns, Boojins, just general multi-purpose card. It does a lot of stuff versus lots of decks. Soul Drain, stops a lot of matchups, and Malevolent Catastrophe. This was just like, there's a lot of people at my locals who like back row a lot, so I'll play this. I've also been citing this a lot, and it just puts in a lot of work in a lot of matchups. Like, in the Artifact matchup, they attack into this, they're gonna cry. Gearsia matchup, they attack into this, they're gonna cry. Because it can just end games single-handedly. So, that was the deck profile, guys. Sorry it was kind of long. I tried my best to explain my thoughts. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day, guys. Peace out. Fallen Psycho 82, sign.